Hey artists, Miss Kit Lang, and I'm back with another little lesson for you to do at home. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to use simple materials to turn some normal paper into paper that looks really old, so you can turn it into a pirate treasure map. On this map I have written thee down where the treasure be buried. Or a scroll that you can read out for all to hear. Hear ye, it proclaims on this old piece of parchment paper that you are all thought thinkers and must continue to think thoughts. Sorry, got a little carried away. Well, all you need at home are some simple things to make your old paper. You will need some printer paper or cartridge paper, a shallow baking dish or cookie sheet, and some old coffee or tea. Now, before you go running around the house spilling coffee and tea over everything, make sure you talk to your families and get permission first before you gather materials. Okay, let's take a look at how we can turn this paper into some old parchment-looking paper. Okay, artists, do remember that coffee and tea stain, and just as they're going to stain the paper, it can stain your clothes or the carpet. So please do this in a place that you can be extra careful, maybe in the sink or in the kitchen, so then you can clean up any messes. But be extra mindful because it does stain. This is a long process. It will take a day for the paper to soak and for it to dry. So it is something that you will do over a bit of time. But get started by taking your sheet of paper. Start with one and placing it in the shallow baking tray or the cookie sheet and carefully pouring your tea or coffee. It doesn't need to be warm or hot. It can be at any temperature. Then once one is submerged, you can submerge another one, placing it down and letting the liquid completely go over. You could even flip it so it submerges a bit easier. You could take the leftover coffee grounds or tea bag and break it open and sprinkle a bit of the grounds on top. Those areas might have a slightly more coloration as the pigment from the tea or coffee starts to continue to leach out. So that will sit for at least 30 minutes, if not longer. The longer it sits and soaks, the darker the paper will be. And here's some examples of some of the paper that has stayed overnight. Some of those speckles from the different grounds and tea that stained parts a little bit darker. Let that dry overnight, and then you have your papers to make your treasure maps, to make your scrolls. You can crinkle it up and make it even look older, rip the edges so it gives a more of a decal edge, and then use your paper in your art however you choose.